it is good to be a man. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. It's good to be a man. Chapter is about androgyny. It was a really good chapter in the book. It's good to be a man. Androgyny, very pertinent to the situation we find ourselves in 2024 when our Supreme Court justice, the latest one, the highest court in the land, she cannot define what a woman is. And so Michael Foster talks about androgyny, and he says Satan's goal is tearing down God's hierarchy and frustrating the fruitfulness of his image bearers. Thus, the devil's project, part of his project, is androgyny. Now, that is really profound in the situation. Like, if you would have said that even 20 years ago, people would have been like, what are you talking about? But the situation we find ourselves in today, this is like, man, this is really pertinent to today. He says this is why androgyny has become a religion of sorts today, and those who question the rainbow agenda are treated as heretics. And man, that's true, boy. I'm telling you, that is true. If you have friends, and everybody does, whose minds have been infected by the woke mind virus, I mean, yeah, they look at you like, if you question anything in the rainbow agenda, they just look at you like you're an alien or something. It's weird. It's weird. He says humans are built to worship, and modern pagans can no more stop worshiping androgyny than they can stop being male or female. And so he says the choice is stark: serve God to bring heaven on earth, or serve Satan to bring hell. Now, that's a really important thing. He says that androgyny is synonymous with paganism. He draws that out in the chapter. And he says flatly in the chapter that androgyny is a fundamental part of paganism. And androgyny is also destructive to marriage. Now, that's important. That's important because I feel like even in the church, we teach, in some ways, we teach androgyny. We teach equality of roles in marriage. We don't teach separation and difference in roles in marriage because, hey, we're both equal. Now, of course, we're both equal in the sight of God, but we are not equals. We are very, very different when it comes to practical living. Right? We're very, 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 very different. Very different. And so sometimes it does feel like, even in the church, that we're pushed towards androgyny. And this is destructive to marriage. He calls out in the chapter that women want androgynous, or women seem to want, they say they want androgynous guys, except now women divorce. When a divorce happens, it's almost at 80% the woman is the one who initiates the divorce, even when, more so than ever before in the world at any time in history, men are more ideally acting the way that they should. They're helping more around the house, they're more sensitive, the blah, 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 blah. They've been more of those things in general than they've ever been in history, and yet women, whenever divorce happens, 80% of the time it's the woman who's saying, I'm not happy, blah, blah, blah. And that leads to the phenomenon that you're starting to hear this over and over again. I even personally know people who have had this happen, where the woman divorces the husband because she says, well, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And she still wants to be his friend, but she's lost the tingles for him. What is that? In chapter 5, the author's saying that is pagan androgyny is the root of that. Now, that's really profound in our day. I thought, man, this really, really good chapter. And so the war on gender then is a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war. God has made them male and female. They are very different. And pagan androgyny tries to just bring them together in a very destructive way. That is not the way that that they are brought together. And this war on gender is destroying marriage. Now, the rainbow agenda seems to be a rebellion against the image of God. God has made them male and female, especially with the transformer phenomena. God has made me male, and yet I say, no, I am female. Or God has made me female, and I say, no, I am male. That is a rebellion against what God has done. That is a rebellion against the image of God that he has placed in male and female. He has made them female with a very feminine essence, and he has made them male with a male essence. Now, I will put an asterisk there and say, some men do have, a minority of men do have more of a feminine essence, and that may not necessarily be sinful. And there are some women, and we all know these women, who have more of a masculine essence, and that's not necessarily sinful, but they need to watch that. They need to watch that, especially in our time. The women need to watch that. Now, we all know probably an example of the man with a more feminine essence would be probably your worship leader at church. I mean, man, the church full of those guys. Even comedians make jokes about this going to church. Bernie Mac I guess he's dead now. Bernie Mac makes a joke about these these guys in the choir. I should pull up a clip of that. Ah, that is funny.
And the choir make me sick. How you gonna be believing in the Lord? You're a sissy. How you gonna believe in the Lord? You're a sissy. And you marching in all like this here. I got a problem with that. I'm telling you this. I said what you scared to say. Sissy, homosexual. Let me be the pastor. We'll be a sissy in the choir. Soon as your ass do like this here, stop the music, stop the music. You get your punk ass out of here, right? In the name of the Lord, get your punk ass out of here right now.
Actually, I played that clip for a Bible with our men's Bible study. When we were doing this book, I played that clip from Bernie Mac. Oh my goodness. But anyway, one more thing that he draws out here with the rainbow agenda and androgyny is that he says with gay men especially, you can see that if you are a homosexual man, you can be the penetrator and the penetrated, celebrating even more this androgyny, this pagan androgyny. Hey, I can be both now, and I don't even want to talk about what lesbians or whatever. But anyway, pagan androgyny is the opposite of what God wants. It's destructive to image bearers of God, and it's destructive to marriage as well. That's good. And we're getting it turned around here. We're getting it turned around because Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Postmillennial Man.